I'm Jessica Lahr, and this is a look at your weather for the first full weekend of November in the Finger Lakes. The unseasonably warm weather will continue into Friday, with early highs near 70, but a cold front will move through later in the day and bring an 80% chance of showers through the afternoon and early evening. Saturday will be a nice day with plenty of sun, but much cooler with a high near 50. Just a 30% chance of an overnight shower into Sunday, where we'll see more sun, but with high temperatures only reaching the mid-40s. For live radar and our complete forecast, visit our weather center online at fingerlakes1.com or on the free Finger Lakes One Android or iPhone app. With the great weather heading into November, there are still plenty of opportunities to capture autumn in the Finger Lakes in all its photographic glory. We've had a ton of great photos submitted to our site over the past 7 days, and here are our staff picks for the top 5. At number 5, Susan Eisenhart captured this beautiful shot of the sunset over Keuka Lake while in Pulteney late last week. In the 4th spot, Darlene Dupre was in Waterloo near lock number 4 to capture the trees along the Cayuga-Seneca Canal aglow in the sunshine. At 3, Diane Dersch was driving along Route 89 on Monday afternoon and stopped in Romulus to take this great picture of seagulls looking as if they were holding their own convention on Cayuga Lake. At number 2, Devin Carey Jr. was able to capture Seneca Lake resembling the ocean as the waves came crashing in at Sampson State Park on a beautiful but windy day in the Finger Lakes. And our top photo of the week, Shelley Lannon was in Geneva on Saturday morning and caught the Finger Lakes Railway heading south on Route 14, hauling as many engines as cars. Great photos, everyone, and thanks for sharing. You can check out all these photos and many more and learn how to share your own local photos with our users here at fingerlakes1.com by visiting our local photos page on our homepage or app. Maybe you'll find your photo in next week's Top 5. November is here in the Finger Lakes, and we have a look at your top 5 local events taking place this weekend. Kicking things off at number 5, the Trinity Church in Seneca Falls is holding their annual By the Water Bazaar on Saturday from 9 until 2. The bazaar will feature crafters and vendors including Party Light, Watkins, Ken's Wooden Bowls, Gracie Madeline Designs, and much more. The pie booth will be stocked, and their famous chicken and biscuit lunch will be available from 11 to 1. At number 4, a great chance to start your Christmas shopping. Xylem is sponsoring a craft and hobby show to benefit the Relay for Life of Seneca County, as well as the Beverly Animal Shelter Saturday from 10 until 3 at the Seneca Falls Community Center. There will be over 30 vendors available to give you an early start on your shopping and to benefit 2 great causes. Coming in at number 3, Sam Kastner, a sculptor, and Johanna Reynolds, a pianist, singer, and songwriter, bring Birds and a Song, a collaboration of metal and music, to the Smith Opera House for Geneva Night Out on Friday evening. The concert will be featuring new works inspired by Finger Lakes birds with Jeffrey Smith on bass, Phil Lake on drums, and Bill Tiberio on saxophone. Tickets are free, and the event is open to the public. At number 2, the Canandaigua Winter Market is a scaled-down version of the summer Farmers Market and debuts on Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m. behind the Burn Dairy Store on Main Street. Though it is a bit smaller than the summer market and will be open less, the 30-plus vendors slated to sell fruit, vegetables, crafts, and more will look forward to seeing you for their opening week on Saturday. And our top local event recommendation of the weekend is Shayburn Farm in Rockstream, just south of Glenora, is ending the season with a family fall festival to celebrate their 5th anniversary. The free event will include food, drinks, games, hay rides, farm tours, and much more. For the adults, there will be a cheese tasting, a cooking demo from a top regional chef, and several vendors with local products. The kids can enjoy a bounce house, petting zoo, and fall-themed contests. A great way to enjoy the last of the fall foliage in the Finger Lakes. Whatever your plans for this weekend in the Finger Lakes, have a great weekend. On Monday morning's live edition of Weber This Week, Jim Sinacropi sat in for the Web Dog and debuted the launch of a new app for Seneca Falls with the help of Sharon Hoatland.
My special guest today, sitting in on the couch, is someone who's been up here before, and she's a great asset to us in Seneca Falls. And if you ever really want to know what's going on downtown, you should talk to this woman, Sharon Hoatland, Events Marketing and Sales Manager at the Gould Hotel. Good morning, Sharon. How you doing?
Good morning. Great to be here on this gorgeous day. You're right. It doesn't seem like a November day, does it?
No, bring it on. It's if all November could be like this, we'd be all right.
We'll keep our fingers crossed.
So, Sharon, you're very active in everything Seneca Falls, and especially the Seneca Falls Business Association,
Yes.
who commissioned the development of a new app. And so let's kind of talk about that app to start things out.
Well, I don't know if you remember, Jim, but about a year and a half ago, we had the Business Association had a meeting called Seneca Falls Connects. And one of the things we tried to do was reflect on the history, what we were doing now, and what can we do going forward to be kind of ahead of the game, so to speak. I mean, with everything coming out in the Finger Lakes area, how to work and be proactive along with the Lago coming, all the emphasis on the wine trails, et cetera, et cetera. And we do a lot in town, and oftentimes one of the biggest things, and we've talked about it ourselves, is nobody knows where, what, when, and how. It gets to people maybe late, and maybe if they're a part of the organization that's doing it, they'll know. But other people don't really know what's going on. So consequently, from that meeting, as we talked about the future, one of the things that came up was, why don't we look maybe to get information on the streets, or maybe signage, maybe a kiosk. Well, as we really sat down and looked at the future of the handheld devices and what the young people in the future is going towards, and that would be the phones, the app really seems like the perfect thing to do. So Seneca Falls Business Association came to you, of course, and gave you what we thought we could do, and just give it a shot. So here we are, and you did a fabulous job. All the information is there, as you can see. Obviously, the very important statue leads it off. You've got a directory. You've got what's happening, the events, local deals. We're working on that. That's something we'll be talking more about. And then, of course, you're featuring different videos, maybe going back to the team that just won, maybe something of that nature.
Sure,
to show.
yeah. Any Seneca Falls related videos. Some are historical, some are like the Women's Hall of Fame induction ceremony. But I think the heart and soul are the first three items, because from a visitor's perspective to Seneca
Right.
Falls, we get a ton of tourists around here, and now we can put some signage around that says download the free Seneca Falls or the Seneca Falls New York app from its Android and Apple. And once you head into the directory, you can find a list of places to eat, of all our historical attractions and museums, places to stay, and also a bunch of different service businesses right at your fingertips. And then events, of course, is going to be our events calendar. We're going to be talking about the slate of events coming up in the next couple months. around here, and they'll all be listed there. And then local deals is a chance for Seneca Falls Business Association members to offer a deal on the app, so someone that comes into town can then pull up the deal on their phone, go into a restaurant, for example, and receive that whatever special or bargain that might be.
Well, I think that's another way that the Business Association is trying to drive business into this town. And in order to do that, we've got to get that information out. This is going to be the quickest way. It'll be the handiest way. It's the most advanced way. And then I think one of the most exciting things, of course, is with the Wonderful Life coming up, we can really get that out there with the new visitors and something they can follow. So now let's just take, for example, the race. Jeff has his, Jeff Rook and his group have the 5K run. They've got their own website. They can go right to the app. So
Sure.
prior to our visitors even coming here, they will have all the information. They can plan. We're often saying what happens on Sunday. Maybe people don't stay, whatever it is. Now they will have information to plan their stay longer.
Right.
I mean, there's so many things. You can take it to a whole different level. I think it's very exciting for Seneca Falls. And one of the other things I think it's really neat is when I looked around, and you and I talked earlier, like the area, like Auburn, Geneva, Waterloo, nobody else, to my knowledge, I haven't found one that has an app. So I think it's very interesting and very exciting for Seneca Falls to have this kind of advanced, if you will, technology that we're using to our advantage. Before all the exciting things come into town, we're ahead of that, so we can share it with everybody.
Yeah, and
So I'm excited about it.
yeah, and it is exciting. And when originally the discussion was, hey, can we put a kiosk in the middle of downtown so people can go? And I suggested that that wouldn't necessarily be the best way to go, because that kiosk should really be in anybody's hands. They shouldn't have to physically be in front of it.
Exactly. And then you have to know to go to that.
Yeah.
Well, here you have the phone anyway.
Right.
And I know that going forward there's going to be so many different technology booming things that now that we have this, we'll utilize your talents, Jim, and keep things that we need going forward, so we're always one step ahead.
Yeah, and
So-
I'd like to, the app's just online, and we do need to still work on bolstering it to be 100% full of the information we want on there. Right now it's probably at 50 or 60%.
A great beginning.
Yep.
Great beginning.
And looking forward to exploring some, new different ways that we can enhance the app to enhance the visitors who come to Seneca Falls, their experience. So it's exciting. It's available now on the Google and our Android and Apple and iTunes stores for free download. You would search for Seneca Falls, New York, and it'll come right up. You'll know you have the right one because you'll see the famous statue of when Stanton met Anthony on the front page there or right next to the search results. You'll see it. It'd be tough to miss. It's the only one. It's the only
It's the
Seneca
only
Falls app.
The new
That's
Seneca
it.
Falls,
It's
New
easy.
York app is available for free download from the Google Play or iTunes app stores. On Tuesday night, over 1,600 people tuned in for FingerLakes1.com's Election Night live coverage over the 3-hour live webcast. Check out the clip below as the results from the city of Geneva finally posted shortly before 11 o'clock.
If anybody in Geneva does have some results that they want to share with us, unofficially, give us a call here in studio. Are we showing results in Geneva yet?
We aren't showing anything in Geneva. We would we welcome any sort of phone call, message, messages on Facebook, anything.
Hey,
Any
guess
form
what?
of-
Guess what? I got results in Geneva. They posted.
Did they really?
posted, and I guess we'll start it off right now with the race that we've been waiting on. And it's unbelievably close, with 12 of 12 districts reporting in the mayoral race in the city of Geneva. We're showing Jackie Augustine with a ultra slim margin of 1,213 votes for Augustine, Elcott 1,201. So Augustine up 12 votes over Elcock, the Democrat with a slight edge over the Republican. Obviously, there'll be absentee voting. There's no way that at that close a race that we'd be able to call it tonight. But right now, Jackie Augustine, 1,213 votes to Ron Elcott's 1,201 votes for mayor in the city of Geneva. And let's get it right down with your first full dose of results from Geneva tonight. Counselor at large, as we just reported unofficially, we're now showing unofficial results, but from an official source, the Ontario County Board of Elections. Anthony D. Costanzo Jr., the Republican, comes in with 1,160 votes. Mark Grambling, 1,508 votes. And Gordon Eddington, another Republican, 1,290 votes. If those hold true, it will be Grambling and Eddington taking those two seats for councilor at large in the city of Geneva. Councilor in Ward 1, the race between Angela Marino and Ronald Martino is also pretty close race, but right now we're showing Angela Marino, the Democrat, with 193 to Ronald Martino's 128. Josh, you want to pick it up from there?
Yep, in Ward 2 in the city of Geneva, we have Carolyn McCusker with 218 votes in for her, Paul D'Amico with 279, and Ethan Powell with 100. So at this point, we would be saying that we're going to project that Paul D'Amico is getting the win in that ward with 279 to Carolyn McCusker's 218. In the third ward, we have got Stephen Valentino and Patrick Grimaldi facing off. And it would appear as though at this point, again, not a huge margin of victory, but Stephen Valentino appears to have a somewhat medium-sizable lead. 317 votes to Grimaldi's 256.
And again, that's 202 wards reporting there, so we're feeling pretty confident in declaring Valentino unofficially the winner with some absentee ballots. But that's a pretty big margin for the third ward in Geneva.
And then back down to the fourth ward, we've got Robert Camera and William McDermott facing off, and it would appear as though we have got 216 to 174. So again, like the other race, we're seeing a sort of similar breakdown between distance between 1 and 2 in most of these races. With some confidence, unofficially, we are going to say Robert Camera is the leader and could be winner out of that one. The fifth ward in Geneva has Jason Hagerman and Sean Beam facing off, 153 for Hagerman to Beam's 91. So there is another one where we have two of two districts reporting with pretty good degree of confidence. We are going to be saying that unofficially Hagerman is the winner, the Democrat, in that particular race. Excuse me. And then in the sixth ward, we have John Greco and James Meany facing off, and it would appear as though Greco has the victory on that one as well. 133 votes for the Democrat to the 84 votes for Meany.
So there you go. There's your full rundown of the election in Geneva, and
Yep.
we're starting to get a fuller picture of all the races across the region. We're still waiting on some of those races from northern Wayne County, and we'll continue to check on those. But I think, we just got the biggest story of the night in the mayoral race, a dead heat.
A completely dead heat.
And, that kind of underscores the political climate in the city of Geneva right now.
Yeah, and that was one of the coming into this, coming into today. It wasn't a policy. That wasn't a policy argument race. That was a style race,
Right.
where you had two people with competing styles as far as management and running a city. And this is it's reflective of a very polarized or very tightly knit city, as it turns out.
Well, it's coming up on 11:03 here inside the FingerLakes1.com studio. If you want to join the show and talk about any of the results, give us a call at 315-712-0104. We're getting tons of calls. Everybody doesn't really want to come on the air, but they want to either share some information with us or ask us some information. Please don't call to ask us to resolve an individual race. We'll read it hopefully for you. And we'll continue to read the results here before we sign off the air sometime probably in the next hour. I don't see us staying online here past midnight, but we appreciate everybody who's been with us now. We've been on the air now for close to 2.5 hours. Actually, about 2.5 hours we've been on the air, waiting for results along with all the listeners. We've given results on a bulk of the elections tonight throughout the Finger Lakes, and where there's still some communities that we're looking for results. It was great to get the results from Yates County tonight. I remember last year's election, we didn't get those results until the next day. So it looks like everybody on board. Not sure what the delay was in Geneva posting. Part of it could be that it was so close that they might have wanted to double check that before they posted that, because that mayoral race. And there's no way we're going to be able to declare a winner tonight.
No.
They probably won't be able to declare a winner for several days.
Yeah, that's one that really could take a week, and I don't think. Personally, I wouldn't be surprised. I doubt you, Jim, would be surprised at all by that. It's just sort of the nature of,
there's got to be at least you're talking about city of Geneva, I'd say there's got to be at least 50 or 60 absentee ballots. So,
absolutely.
So, we're just going to have to, watch over the next couple days and see what happens there. But definitely probably some tense moments in the Alcock and Augustine camps tonight. Neither one probably going to bed and going to get much sleep tonight.
No.
Or maybe they just will from exhaustion. I know I'm going to sleep all the night.
It's a long election day, like we talked about earlier. Election day is a very, very long day.
And of course, it started out early this morning with voters heading to the polls throughout the region. Happy to share some of this footage from polling places that we played earlier tonight as we kind of reset here. Again, some of the bigger races tonight. The dead heat in the Geneva mayoral race between Augustine and Elcott. Pagano defeating Starr for Macedon town supervisor. Verkey defeating Cole for Arcadia town supervisor. Lazaro wins in Seneca Falls for town supervisor. I'm going to see if there's been any change in any of those numbers in Seneca County since we last gave them.
Yeah, I'm looking at that right now, and it would appear as though the numbers that we had previously given were pretty accurate thus far. It doesn't look like it. None of the outcomes have moved or changed at this point. Now, that being said, the individual towns, I'm looking at Covert, Tyre, etc., Fayette, they aren't officially reporting anything yet, but they are reporting unofficial numbers, obviously, with some of the figures coming in. Not a ton of surprises. One of the races that was actually getting a lot of interest here in Seneca Falls was the race between Martha Dygert and Nikki Greer, and it would appear as though, as we sit right now, let's get this up here. It would appear as though there's been no change in that ballot as of now, that race. It is still sitting at 1,084 votes for Nikki Greer to Martha Dygert 792, with a total of 1,928 ballots in overall for that particular race.
Well, a new sheriff in Seneca County as well tonight, although we knew that going in, running unopposed.
Yep.
A re-elected sheriff in Yates County, a re-elected district attorney in Cayuga County. So a lot of these big, premier races, normally we'd feature, gone uncontested tonight. So really the majority of the action tonight, I think, coming in some important supervisor races.
Yeah.
So it's, again, give us a call, 315-712-0104, if you'd like to join the discussion. or if you have some information that you'd like for us to pass on to our listeners at 11:09 Eastern Time tonight inside the FingerLakes1.com studios. And Josh, I think we're going to step aside for 60 seconds. We're going to come back and for the stretch run on Election Night Live 2015 right here on FingerLakes1.com.
So many sights to see on the internet, but for everything local, there's no place you can get it. At FingerLakes1.com, come on over to FingerLakes1.com. Make us your homepage. News, weather, sports, and fun. Log on to FingerLakes1.
Local news from over 40 sources, custom local weather, over 10 hours of live broadcasts and podcasts every week on your computer, tablet, television, or smartphone. 24 hours a day, 365 days a year.
www.fingerlakes1.com. Come on and join the fun. Log on to FingerLakes1.
www.fingerlakes1.com.
You can check out the full election night webcast online at fingerlakes1.tv or on our YouTube channel. Be sure to check back at fingerlakes1.com for the latest weather forecast and local news throughout the week, and have a great first full weekend of November.